Okay, g'day guys. We are back. Well, not we are. Jacob's had some trouble with his internet connection, so it's just going to be me wrapping the rest of the pod up, including all of our best bets for the game. We just finished speaking about a little bit of coaching. In terms of special teams, I'll probably put that graphic up there. I think both teams are very solid. I guess I'd give a slight edge to the Kansas City Chiefs, just with baller kick returners that they can use. I mean, they've been using Hardman back there, who's one of the fastest guys in the NFL pretty much, and you can throw him down there on special teams. But, I mean, in big games, they have been using Tyreek Hill as well, who is an absolute monster. In terms of kickers, both very, very good. Harrison Butker for the Chiefs is a weapon, and so is Robbie Gould. I mean, he was injured for a number of games this season, but wouldn't give a huge edge to either kicker, but it's going to be important, and luckily they do both have very solid kickers because this is an outdoor stadium, it's not a dome, it is a little bit harder to kick, and there's big winds forecast as well. There is a tornado warning for that area in Miami. It should miss the Super Bowl by about 12 hours, they say, so it's going to be, heavy winds and tornado-like conditions for the Friday and the Saturday, and that should clear up by Saturday night, they're saying. So we should have, good weather for the actual Super Bowl itself. But if that changes, which Miami weather can certainly do at the drop of a hat, then, we could have some bad weather leading into this one, which could change things. But at this stage, it does look like we're going to have good weather for the game. If you're wanting Jacob's takes, he has enough internet to comment down there in the comments, so he's adding those in. We'll get on to narratives, and this is an interesting one. I mean, we like to go through, a few things that, could be in the paper the day after, whichever team wins, and I think the coaching is the first and foremost one. I mean, Andy Reid never won a Super Bowl. I think, if the Chiefs do end up winning this one, the narrative will be, look, Andy Reid has always been underappreciated. He's always been one of the top coaches, and now finally he's getting the Super Bowl that he deserves. I think the same can be kind of said for Kyle Shanahan as well with the 49ers. I mean, absolute heartbreak when he was on, that Atlanta coaching staff when they gave up the 28-3 lead. This will be his redemption game. Obviously, I think the only father-son duo to have coached in separate Super Bowls. So from a coaching perspective, those are certainly two narratives that could be in there the day after. From a QB perspective, I think this one's a great one. I think, if the Chiefs end up winning this one, everyone's going to say, wow, why did we ever doubt Pat Mahomes? He's the greatest player in the NFL currently, and a lot of people were doubting the Chiefs. Early on in the season, I mean, the Pats were like $3 to win the AFC. So everyone is going to say, look, Pat Mahomes deserves it. He is the best QB in the league, best player in the league. But on the flip side, if the 49ers end up pulling this one out, I think Jimmy G is going to have to do more than he has done previously. And I think people will say, look, Jimmy G, oh my God, there's going to be a lot of Pats narratives as well. The Patriots letting Jimmy G go for basically nothing. And they're going to say Jimmy G has always been, well, he was a beast last year in the few games that he did play. I mean, only won 4 games last year, but that was on the back of Jimmy G coming in later on in the season. And that's going to be the narrative if the 49ers win, is that Jimmy G put them on their back. The Patriots were the dumbest organization in history to let him go for pennies on the dollar. So very interesting narratives going into the Super Bowl, and it's going to be an absolute cracker of a game, so make sure you have gotten the Monday off. Work starts at 10:30 Australian time, and allow for about 4.5 hours to watch that one. Now we'll get on to best bets. Now we haven't gone crazy with the props. I know in seasons past we've given out all sorts of props. I can try and invite you in, Jacob. We'll see how we go. I'll try and get Jacob on the phone, see if we can invite him in, see if his internet isn't playing up anymore. And I'm calling you, Jacob, but you are not answering. You live in a hole out there, just a black hole of internet connection. So now I'm gonna have to try and hang up on him. All right. Anyway, no time to get Jacob on the line. Bad internet. Anyway. Let's get on to the best bets. Not as many prop bets as we have had in seasons past. Obviously, last year, I think we had something like 40 or 50 prop bets. This year, not so much. But we'll get on to the best bets here. We do like the Chiefs in this game. And I'll break it down fairly simply. The last thing that I thought of this game, I went over it 100 times. And I just said to myself, and it's maybe a little bit square. But I just said to myself, look, if the Chiefs are up double digits in this game, I think that they'll be able to hold a lead. I don't trust Jimmy G to be able to bring the 49ers back from a double-digit deficit. Then I said to myself, what if the 49ers are up double digits in this game? Do I trust Pat Mahomes to bring the Chiefs back? I do. So I'm taking the better QB in this one. I just think that the Chiefs will have too much firepower for this 49ers team. So we've got 6 best bets on the game so far. We're taking the Chiefs straight up just to win. The best price for that one is $1.80 on Bet365. A similar bet you could make is the Chiefs laying 1.5 points. I think the best price on that one is on Neds and Ladbrokes at $1.92. They're very, very similar bets, those ones. We're taking the Chiefs to win the first half in a two-way market. That one is $1.86 on Unibet. We're taking the Chiefs race to 20. You'll find that best price on BetEasy at $1.95. We're taking the Chiefs team total over 27.5 points. That is $1.90 on Bet365. And then we've got a couple of total bets. Traditionally, the Super Bowls start a little bit slower and then kind of ramp up in the second half. So we've just got a variation of the second half higher scoring. We've taken 2 good numbers. We've taken under 27.5 in the first half. That's $1.81 on BetEasy. That number should be closer to 26.5, and 27 is a very key number, especially in a half of NFL. And we're taking over 26.5 in the second half. That's $1.88 on BetEasy. Same sort of thinking. That number should be a bit closer to 27.5, and like I said earlier, 27 is a super key number in the NFL. So those are the best bets on the game. We've got a couple of props too in player markets. We will be taking Mahomes for MVP. That one's $2.15 on Unibet, obviously. Not much higher than them just to win the game, but we are fairly convinced that if the Chiefs are able to win this one, that Mahomes will get MVP. Jacob, you might want to comment a variation of that bet that you found where you can bet the MVP to be from jersey number 15 to 25. And I think that was around $1.90. It escapes me what site that was on, but if you want a bit more fun one, you can take that one. That obviously includes Pat Mahomes, but you also get, a bunch of other lesser-known players, but the 2 probably players that have a mini chance within that 15 to 25 jersey range are Emmanuel Sanders and Deebo Samuel. So at least if the 49ers go nuts in the pass game, then maybe one of those guys could get it, and it's a little bit of a hedge for about 25 cents less. We're going to take, like Jacob said, he loves Kittle over 72.5 yards. That is $1.88 on BetEasy. Like we explained earlier, we do think that the 49ers are not just going to be able to run all day. We think that Jimmy G is going to have to pass a little bit more than he has done in previous games, and Kittle's the main receiver there. And we're going to take Damian Williams over 80.5 rushing and receiving yards. That one is $1.85 on Neds and Ladbrokes. And guys, that is going to wrap it. I got to run. I'll be uploading the best bets as soon. Well, I've got to run actually in like 3 minutes. So I'll upload the best bets to the Tripod app and to the group. Probably at about 12:30 today when I get back home. And thanks again for tuning in, guys. Sorry we had a little bit of technical difficulties. If you've been following us for the last 5.5 years, you would know that this is a staple of the Tripod, is that we give out good tips, but we aren't the best with technology, unfortunately, and our internet connections have not always been great. So thanks for persisting and watching us all the way through, guys. Make sure you're in the group, in the Tripod Punters Tips Forum on Facebook. We'll have a big game thread. I'm sure there'll be a lot of bets on there that people are throwing up. Make sure you're in the Tripod app. There's already tons of bets on the Super Bowl that I'm seeing in there. And make sure you tune in for Netty Given Sunday. That's going to be tomorrow night, I assume. Jacob, if you can confirm that in the comments. That'll be tomorrow night. And Netty, if you've watched him before, he's absolutely great. He's an NFL nut. He knows a lot more about X's and O's and formations than we do. But he loves getting on a bunch of the props. And I think he's been bang on with the Gatorade color pretty much all of the last 3 years. I think he's done it, but he dives way deeper than us into some obscure props. So make sure you tune into the Tripod page on Facebook, you'll get a make sure you've liked it. You'll get a notification for when Nettie will be going live, and I'm sure he will have a bunch of fun Super Bowl props for you. So let us know what you reckon, what you're on in the comments for the Super Bowl. Enjoy the game. Make sure you get the day off work, and we'll catch you guys soon. No more pods for a little while, but we'll be gearing up for NRL season to start. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you soon.